I feel like, in this crazy time we're in, it's important to kind of try and figure out, like, how did we end up in this mess? I think I figured it out, guys. I think the problem is therapy. Is anybody here in therapy? Give me some, yeah. Like denial here, you should all go to therapy at the back. No, I don't do therapy. I mean, clearly I need therapy, but I'm not in therapy because I saw a meme. I saw a meme, I guess, where I get all my information from. And this meme said, it's like, since when has therapy ever cured anyone? And then they interviewed some therapists, like, so how many patients have you cured? And these therapists are like, like cure patients? What the fuck is that? And so clearly therapy is bullshit based on a meme. And I feel like the people that most need therapy, therapists, yes, exactly, therapy, because they have to listen to our bullshit for 8 hours a day. Do you know how traumatic that shit is? Okay, there's a lot of uncomfortable therapy, unprocessed trauma in the front row. They're like, oh, that's not, I can't make eye contact anymore. Look, here's the thing, is, I'm old, I'm 52, like, and you start to figure out life, and here's one of the tips I got for you, is like they say with the mafia, you want to figure out, like organized crime, you got to follow the money, right? If you want to figure out therapists, you got to follow the family tree. Like, do you guys know who Carl Jung is? There's a one man in a hat nodding. It's actually, we've got an interesting, like, triangle of baldness here. We've got that guy, we've got some gleaming baldness. There's probably baldness under the hat here. But eventual baldness. It's me. Like, this is like the Bermuda Triangle of bald. You, madam, I'm sorry, it's beautiful hair. It's going to be gone by tomorrow. You just accept. You're blessed. All right. Anyway, and so no, but the thing is like, okay, so Carl Jung, right? Carl Jung, he's a famous psychiatrist, and his dad was called Carl Jung, and his granddad was called Carl Jung. And his granddad was also the Grand Master of the Swiss Freemasons. Which makes me like, what the fuck? Like, well, that's crazy. Like, why couldn't they come up with a better name scheme? Like Carl Junger, Carl Jungest, or Carl the Barely Legal. Because then he's going to need some therapy later. But look, I think the ground zero, this is where our problems begin with Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud, you've all heard of him. There's a lady nodding and staring at my feet, trying to nod. She's like, I don't need more trauma in my life, thank you. She's wearing like one of those Swiss shirts, I don't know, whatever it is, from Appenzell. It's not, is it?
No, actually it's not, it's from Paris.
No, it's not, it's from Paris. That's even more trauma, I'm sorry. But okay, no, the thing is, Sigmund Freud. We've all heard of Sigmund Freud, right? Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud, here's what you do. Look up Sigmund Freud's family tree, all kinds of crazy shit pops out. And I'll skip out like the incest and the pedophiles, you don't need to know about that. But let me jump to, if you go to Sigmund Freud's great-great-grandnephew, it's a guy called Edward Bernays. Has anybody heard of this guy? Okay, did anyone have an education here? It's like Edward Bernays, right? He's called the father of modern marketing. And he wrote this book called Propaganda, which unfortunately happened to get read by a guy called Joseph Goebbels and inspired the Nazis. And then Edward Bernays is like, fuck, I've made a terrible mistake. Let's change the name from propaganda to marketing. And that was the first successful rebranding. But if you go deeper down the Freud family tree, you get like a couple more generations. Sigmund Freud's great-great-great-grandnephew was one of the founders of Netflix. Yeah. Okay, that's not funny, that's fact. I don't know why the joke is in that. You haven't laughed up until this point, but suddenly that was your moment to shine. I don't know what that means. Go see a therapist, is what I say. But no, okay, this is no joke. One of the founders of Netflix is in the Freud family, and it makes me wonder, like, Like, what was happening at the Freud family dinners? You know, was Sigmund in a bad German accent, probably with an Austrian influence, going, "No, children, let me explain the psychiatry. Like this little hole here, this tiny hole. This is all the money we can make by helping people with their problems. But this giant hole here, this giant hole, this is all the money we can make by distracting people from their problems." And that is how we got marketing and Netflix, guys. And to make this even more crazy, like Netflix last year, they released their viewing statistics. If you add up all the time people spent watching Netflix in 2024, it adds up to 123 million years.
Wow.
Yeah, maths, I get it, but look. I mean, they say Rome wasn't built in a day. Probably because they were watching Netflix. But it's an insane number, and there's actually like weird sub-bubbles inside it, like this bubble here. This is the bubble of all the time people spent watching Friends instead of going out and getting friends. And it actually makes me think, I'll just wrap up with this, is that it actually makes me think we should just rename Friends Freuds. And you know, you put on Freuds and the music comes on and it goes like, "So no one told you life was gonna be this way." Alright, let's try that again, more energy. "So no one told you life was gonna be this way. Your mind's a mess, you're stressed, you have anxiety. It's like you're always stuck in chronic fear. You're struggling with your OCD and your meds are turning you queer, but I'll be there for you for your Monday morning session. I'll be there for you to discuss your depression. I'll be there for you, 'cause you're paying me to."